How much longer will you stay in the hallway when the king has already opened the door to the throne room? Are you willing to let your spiritual muscles grow in the tension of the silence, or will you walk away right before the breakthrough? What if the delay you are fighting is actually the protection you have been praying for? Welcome to Just Word Talks, where we align your ambition with the blueprint of the Word. Here, God's truth is the final authority on your destiny, period. Like, subscribe, and let's build. Architecting the Wait, the strategy of divine persistence. Listen to the architectural reality of the Spirit. One of the most difficult seasons in life is the wait. It is that period between the prayer and the manifestation, between the seed and the harvest. Many of you are in the wait room right now, and you are wondering if God is even listening. You have prayed for healing. You have asked for the restoration of your marriage. You have cried out for a job with real benefits. And yet the more you pray, the less you see. You are looking for a sign, a feeling, anything to prove that He cares, but all you hear is silence. But I am here as your purpose architect to remind you that just because God feels silent doesn't mean He is absent. God is working while you are waiting. While you are wondering and worrying, He is behind the scenes arranging the provision, the grace, and the breakthrough. He is a good Father with a precise plan for your life. He wants to bless you and prosper you. But sometimes the reason it isn't happening yet is because you are not prepared for what He has prepared for you. You are ready for what you have in mind. But if you could see what God has in mind, you would realize you couldn't handle the weight of it right now. You need more time to grow, more time to develop, more time to gain the experience that will sustain the blessing once it arrives. The Word says in the verse of James 1 verse 4, to let patience have its perfect work. Patience is developed in the wait room. Your spiritual muscles are getting stronger, and that tension is necessary for your expansion. Don't discount the waiting periods. Don't get discouraged because it's not happening as fast as your human timeline demands. The longer it takes, the more God has in store for the final reveal. We live in a culture of immediacy. We want the microwave miracle. But God is a slow cooker architect. He is crafting chapter after chapter of your story, and He is fully invested in every detail. When it is your time, and when He knows you are ready, what you give birth to will be much bigger than anything you could have imagined on your own. Waiting on the Lord is a strategic move. It is about keeping your hope and your expectation high while staying bound and connected to the source. Most people make the mistake of taking matters into their own hands when God doesn't move fast enough. They manipulate, they connive, they try to force the door open, and they end up making the situation worse than it was at the start. True persistence means you sit right where He placed you because you are expecting Him to move. You are determined not to backslide, not to get weary, and not to quit. Think about the life of David. He was anointed to be the next king by the prophet Samuel, but he had to wait 13 years to actually take the throne. God could have taken him straight to the palace, but David wasn't ready to rule. He had to pass the test in the shepherd's fields first. He had to show God he would take care of his father's sheep before he could be trusted with God's people. While you wait, be your best right where you are. God is watching to see if you are ready for the promotion. If what you are praying about isn't changing, then God is using that situation to change you. If it isn't working out, then it is working something out in your character. You see the delay as a denial, but God sees it as a development phase. In hindsight, you will look back and see the why behind the wait. You will say, I am glad He didn't open that door yet. Or, I see now why that person had to walk away. His ways are always good, and his timing is perfect. What has your name on it will not go to anyone else. This is a fundamental law of the kingdom. David was out in the fields when the prophet came to his house. His own father didn't even think he was worth inviting to the meeting. But when Samuel tried to pour the oil on the other 7 sons, the oil wouldn't flow. God was showing us that no matter how hard someone tries to manipulate or play politics to get what belongs to you, the oil will not flow for them. What God has for you is coming your way, and it cannot be diverted. The reason it is taking longer is because the reward is much greater. When you finally see what God has been building, you will say it was worth every second of the wait. Psalm 37 tells us not to be impatient for the Lord to act, but to travel steady along his path. He will honor you and give you the land. You don't have to force things in your own strength. If you are faithful in the weight room, God will give you the position. God will give you the spouse. God will give you the breakthrough. Persistence is a matter of courage. The word says in the verse of Psalm 27, verse 14, to wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Courage is tough, especially when you are suffering and the pain is overwhelming. But you have to sit in that place and trust that he hasn't left you. If you want to be great, you have to learn to wait. Your hope must be anchored in the person, not just the outcome. You aren't just waiting for a miracle, you are waiting for the miracle worker. Your attitude in the weight room determines the altitude of your breakthrough. Life is 10% what happens to you, and 90% how you respond to it. You cannot change the years that have passed or the tick of the clock, but you can change the posture of your mind. Your attitude is your thought life turned inside out. It is the portrait of your spirit. It draws people to you or it repels them, and it will ultimately determine your success or your failure. A calm sea never produced a good sailor, and an easy life never produced a great person. I would rather work with someone who has a good attitude and fewer skills than someone with high skills and a stinky attitude. It isn't about your aptitude. It is about your attitude in the middle of the struggle. Refuse to go through life with a spirit of entitlement or a spirit of blame. Blame never affirms. It only assaults. It never restores. It only wounds. You are in charge of your attitude. Nobody can force you to have a bad one if you don't choose it for yourself. Viktor Frankl was in the concentration camps, and he realized they could take away every right he had, except the right to choose his attitude. They cannot make you hate. They cannot make you bitter. They cannot make you mean-spirited unless you agree to it. You change the way you live by changing the way you think. The secret of change is focusing your energy on building the new, not fighting the old. God is not concerned with who you have been. He is concerned with who you are becoming. Why would he waste time on your past mistakes when he has a future architected for you? He sees the best in you. He sees the successful person who has triumphed over the valley. All you have is the, from now on, life. The choice is yours. What do you want your life to look like from this point forward? Stop rehashing the past and start building the future. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Change starts with one step, and the enemy of change is tomorrow. We say we will do it tomorrow. We will pray tomorrow. We will call that person tomorrow. But today is the day. Don't wait for everything to be perfect to start living your life. If you wait for the candles to be bright enough, you will burn the candle down before you ever show up. You cannot fixate on the finish line and miss out on the journey. We are terrible at resolutions because we want to make massive leaps instead of small, consistent steps. Spiritual formation is a slow process. There is no fast track to the mind of Christ. Give yourself some grace and be patient with the growth. Jesus never expected you to change overnight. He commanded you to go on a journey with him. He knows the road is rough, and all he asks is that when you fall down, you let him pick you back up. Think about teaching a child to ride a bike. You don't get furious when they fall over because you know they are learning. You are proud that they are out there giving it a go, and you are even more proud when they brush themselves off and get back on the seat. Why do we think our perfect Father would be disappointed in us for falling while we learn to walk in the Spirit? You don't clean yourself up to come to Jesus. You come as you are, and the two of you work out the rest together. Jesus knew exactly where you would be today on your journey. You haven't caught him off guard. He isn't confused, and he isn't disappointed. He knew the pace you would set, and he still chose to love you and die for you. You are free to accept that life is a journey of small, consistent steps toward the light. The only pressure on you is the pressure you are putting on yourself. Jesus is patient. Ask yourself what kind of person you want to become. Do you want to be more prayerful, more kind, more steady? Then start with the small practices that cultivate that result. It will cost you something to change, but it will cost you everything not to change. Some people would rather die than change because they are locked in a place where they don't belong. But you belong in the light, and the architect of the universe is ready to remodel your heart. Lord, we come to you and we surrender the timeline. We confess that we have been impatient and we have tried to force the doors that only you can open. We ask for the courage to wait and the strength to stay consistent in the secret place. Thank you that you are working while we are waiting. Thank you that the delay is not a denial, but a divine preparation. We trust your character and we trust your heart. Build in us a spirit that doesn't quit, and lead us into the land you have promised. In the mighty name of Jesus, amen. Thank you, friends, for talking to us today on Just Word Talks. If you like our time together, then like, subscribe, and share with a friend or family member. You believe we could bless, and that way we can all continue to grow together. Thanks again. God bless.